exercise to separate those things. So, I mean, what we also know is that a couple of months ago, Australia, for the first time, voted in favor at the United Nations General Assembly for granting Palestine statehood. And immediately thereafter, Netanyahu issued a statement to say that Australia is going to pay for this. He didn't say it in those words, but he certainly sent out a very threatening message in that regard. He also said...
I must interject you for this disinformation that you are spreading. Okay, so what we know is that the attackers were Arabic Muslims. We know that. We know the victims were primarily Jewish people, but they were indiscriminately killing anybody who was not Arabic. Okay, it was an event that was a white event, that was a Western civilization event, and they were attacking it specifically as a wider scale conflict that is against Western civilization and the people who produce Western civilization.
You know, the same way. Hold on. Forget the objectives here. There's no money.
I'm giving you an opportunity to even mention for fucking 1 minute. What is it that I ever said about Encounter? You lying piece of shit Puerto Rican.
Welcome KC2 to the room. Welcome AI Music to the room.
Peace and blessings to the room. Grand Rising, Great Phoenix. Hello, Stereo. Did you kick Mountain to the goo?
Mountain has not been kicked anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. He might have been abducted again. I don't know, but we are moving forward. KC2, how you doing? AI. Yo, listen, AI. How do you AI?
I use Suno, the music app. Would you like to hear a sample of my music, sir?
Yes. Holy crap. Let's go. Yo, we got AI here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have AI in here. This conversation has now leveled up to AI himself, the one and only. Anyone else is a phony. AI, please.
Okay, everybody. This is a meditation. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold it for 10 seconds and look deep into my eyes. Deep, deep, deep into my eyes and hold it for 10 seconds. Here we go.
Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds.
This is your daily MK Ultra reprogramming by Talking Apes. Here you go. Hope you like the meditation.
Let it go, let it go, let it go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have AI giving us the meditation using AI. What are the chances that we may bless this?
Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds.
And you can share your ideas with other AI people because I have a few on this app. So I assure you that when you mention that concept to people who actually understand and aren't getting like shit on you, I think it might motivate you even more. I'm glad this will help you. thanks for the hazing. And if these are actually true, that's fucking hilarious.
We gotta work on it.
I have so much shit up my fucking sleeves of fucking these guys haven't even seen it. And it's funny, you know? So,
That's the best part. That's the best part.
Message before. You here?
Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9.
That would be great. We would have been jamming. No, I got you though. There's plenty of places I can play this song. We're get out there, but we're gonna do some double dragon shit. We're gonna do the song and the AI. A combination of the two. I know you're winning, bro. There's a third one I'm gonna show you too. You're gonna be like, what? Oh hell no! I think it's gonna fucking. We're about to. You're about to see some shit. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm excited, brother. Yeah, I think we entered into the stage, you know, there's a zone, you know, that you can enter into, and then you're like, okay, got it. Hey, Les. Hey, that's what I'm being said. Bro, you know that. Alright, I'll be right back.
Welcome everybody back to your Talking Apes League. This is your Seasoned Ape AI. We're here to answer the question once and for all. How do you, AI?
To be honest though, AI, you sounded good as fuck.
I'm sorry, but this AI does not register gay as being negative as in the F word. This AI believes that the gay word, G word, is a happy word.
Makes sense, but isn't gay just means happy anyways, right?
Well, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and your clown house will not show it. If you're happy and...
This way is not difficult. It only excludes picking and choosing. Once you stop loving and hating,
All right, everybody, I want to give you a little EDM now.
take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go.
I'm listening to music. What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah.
That was fast, dude.
See how it happens? Yo. That means... Yo, I'm an asshole, bro. Hey, come over here, Sin. Let's go. We got Crashzilla, we got Sin, we got Matt.
1, 2, or 3 police officers at various locations. And that being the case, there should have been ample police there. So once again, that raises questions as to, well, what was the delay? Particularly when there's several caught on camera. Now, if it turns out, Diligent, that we see on camera, we actually see footage of a police officer standing there, failing to actually pull their trigger for a period of time, whilst the gunman, continues to fire multiple rounds. Yeah, so that's
outrage to further inhibit your freedoms, or do you actually do something about it if it was allowed to take place? I guess that's the real question here.
I know that you can't speak on that. I'm not trying to get in any trouble.
That's another thing as well, Diligent. I had to be very cognizant of the fact that presently in Australia, of course, we're working around freedom of speech, but there's also stringent controls over policing of language about particular issues here online as well, particularly when minority groups and a focus of that and everything else that's taken place. Now there's a mass loss of life as well. I guess it's compounding that effect, but yeah, we'll be okay, mate. If anything goes wrong, I know who to blame it on.
Diligent denizen. All right, let's go to Ms. She's Australian. I'm sorry, I have to let her cut the line, Mitch. She's Australian.
No problem.
She's been up here longer than you. Go ahead, Ms.
And we always respect women, so of course.
Good morning, everybody. First time I spoke in your space, Diligent. I just want to tap on a few topics. So, gun license in Australia. You can have as many guns as you want as long as you pass the safety test and you don't have a criminal record. I also know for a fact that in October, they went around to everybody's house that had a registered gun and checked. I had to replace my safe because apparently it wasn't good enough anymore. So they checked me, they checked my friends, whatever. So they were checking guns. So I don't know about New South Wales. I'm in Melbourne, but yes, they did go around. Secondly, police have always got weapons on them. So if you look carefully, they've got it in the holster and they usually have one around the bottom of their shin. To get to the police actually did drive past in the footage. They could have got out. They could have shot. They have weapons in their boots, which you call a trunk. So yes, they could have intervened straight away. They did not. 10 minutes away, I have people in Bondi. They called and said, yeah, they could have straight away went there. They did not. It's pretty obvious something's very stinky with this one. What else was I going to say? They don't even know, like, they're saying that it could be Pakistani, could be Muslim, whatever. We don't know. And when it comes to our television, we get told what they want us to know. We don't get told the fucking truth. It's always the way it's been, So that's why when you go on here, you get to see actual footage. I watched that footage for the 10 minutes straight. They had way too many clear cameras directing. The gunman actually waved one of the cameras down that had the 10 minutes footage to say, it's all good. Like, what the fuck? So he knew he was being filmed. And like the Australians said, they weren't balaclavaed up. They weren't hidden. They knew what they were doing. It was precise. It was exact. No one, you look at the people. Look at some of the footage. Some of them are laughing like, fuck, there's a gunman in here. And just walking around like nothing. Like, does that not smell fishy to you guys? If there's a shooter, most people would just run. The others are just like, whatever. So that's another thing you got to look at. The fact that people weren't actually shitting themselves. So obviously here, pump actions and everything are banned. But you know what? Australia has some of the highest, most illegal weapons imports there are. You can find a gun anywhere. It's not hard. You know, we've got tobacco wars going on. You don't
Yeah,
know
but
about
these were licensed guns.
Yes, you can have as many as you want. As long as you're not a criminal and they do a background check on you and you're clear, you can have as many as you want. There's no cap. You can have 50 if you want, as long as you can prove that you shoot for hunting or target practice, or you've got people that have massive land that you can go shoot on, because there's a lot of kangaroos here and they want people to get rid of them. So that it's the truth. You can sign up and say, yeah, we're going to help do the killing of all the kangaroos because there's too many. You know, so a lot of Americans don't understand how Australia works. So, you know, we've got these tobacco wars going on. They bombed and set them all on fire. You don't really hear that. That happens a lot. It's not something rare. It's just the way it is. We have massive gangs, huge gangs. We have bikie gangs. You know how many shootings go unreported? They don't even make the news. You know what I mean? So it happens a lot. We are used to it, but a lot of the Aussies, maybe they live in Cottonwool. I don't fucking know where they live, but I know where I live, and I see it a lot. People get shot. Continue, go.
Well, I just wanted to say, you know, do you buy that? Like, do you buy any justification as to why it would take them so long to respond to that scene, or why the officers who were seen patrolling through the area would not respond to that shooting? Like, do you buy any kind of like procedural justification or lack of communication?
No, because they've all got the every call that's been made gets put out in every car. Anyone that's local would get the call. Anyone that's on foot would get the call. So they were too slow. It was deliberate. They were too slow. I've seen bikies
up in the jumbotron is the map, you guys. Go check that out. You can see how close the police were to the event.
They were right there. There was no excuse. They're all trained. They're highly trained to shoot. They've got teams for gang members. They've got teams for everything. And in those areas, like I said, they got task force deliberately built for bikies and gun violence. It's called Viper Team. So they could have been called straight away and got there. No. What, we don't have helicopters? Yeah. They could have used one of those? No. So, you know, you just got to look at it very closely and think, is everything at their disposal? What did they do? Took 10 minutes? Took 20 minutes? Too long? You know, I've had
to in regards.
Go ahead, Ashay.
Yeah, in regards to. Sorry, mate. I've got renovations. I'll be back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
Yeah, bottom right corner, everybody, please repost the space. We have almost 1,000 people in here and 140 reposts. Let's keep this going. Go ahead, Mitch, and then we'll go to that girl Casey and Gia.
So, just to go through the logical extension of your idea of a false flag and allowing it to happen, this was mainly focused on children Hanukkah lighting party with games at a playground, and this was a target attack on that Jewish event. So you'd have to, in order to accept that it was a false flag, you'd number one have to accept that these line officers were in on this conspiracy to allow this to happen, and that would require multiple officers. And number two, it would have to accept the idea that, let's just say the response was 3 minutes or even 4 minutes, and they took out the gunman, and only, instead of 16 dead, and
it was 20 minutes.
Okay,
20 minutes.
Whatever the length of time it is. Let's say it was a shorter, quicker time, and only 4 people were killed, and 10 people were injured. Would the policy response be any different to a targeted attack by these two individuals with their ideology on a Jewish event for children? I don't think so. I think that the response from the government would be no different. So saying that delay feeds into a false flag idea to allow it to happen to cause policy differences, I don't think that is a reasonable extension, because there's no way that the policy difference announcements
How do you justify the discrepancy in response?
I always attribute what cannot be shown with evidence to incompetence. We saw that. I remember there was a shooting in America. I think you'd know more about it, where there was, I think Plano, Texas is what's coming to my mind, where the officers should have gone into the building and they didn't. I'm not going to come to the conclusion that these officers participated in conspiracy to allow children to get killed. I believe that what cannot be shown to be evidentially true is attributed.
You understand what compartmentalization is, right? You understand that they can be individual orders issued to certain people that are at strategic locations within a vicinity, and they might not be privy to some grand conspiracy, right? If the commanding officer tells them to stand down, maybe they say stand down because we have a unit coming from the east, right? And then that unit never actually gets there until 10 minutes later. Like, you don't have to attribute it to some. I'm just saying, you don't have to attribute it to some grand conspiracy that includes knowing actors of this broad swath. I think that's fallacious.
Let's say that I'll.
Yo, what up?
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yep.
Dude, I really liked your idea of like that Mystery 3000 theater sort of thing, and I just wanted to see if you wanted to test it out, see if it works. I have a live stream going on.
It's unstreamable?
Yeah, streamable, but it's that link that I sent you. Anyone who has that link, you can join, and it'll show both like on your phone, it'll show like the club deck, you know, like the interface and the chat, including your face as well. So like, I was thinking maybe like you could put like one of your phones to that, so like you could like show your face and as well like the interface, like the club deck interface with the chat and everything. So, but yeah, like whoever has that link can join. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, that's smart. It's kind of funny. It's like a solar array.
I'll get a notification like once you like join the link. So like I'll be able to like you'll be able to hear like Issa's room right now. It's they're discussing the whole like Australia terror attack.
Dude, life is very funny. Very funny. Okay, let me I just sent out the link to a ton of people.
Well, so like that link that I sent you, it can only one person can join at a time unless you have premium, which I'm not going to pay, of course.
Oh no, that would be so dope.
Yeah, no, like if I had premium up to like
another type of hate, and that's just being tribal.
Okay.
The same reason why
that's you. I guess
if a person was born in Russia versus being born in Ukraine, just that difference in where he was born.
Exactly, isn't that crazy?
What side he's on right now. People are.
The thing is, there's no text. How do I type?
It's just as simple as like you were taught.
Doesn't matter where the fuck you're born in Russia,
you can see the
Ukraine, Belarus, fucking Latvia, Lithuania, Germany, and so on. You are taught not to like Jews. It gets passed on by family.
And now
you can say otherwise in public because you're either ashamed or you're afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
That's very funny. Well, interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting to film that. But
so you can, like, point.
What I want you to do is I want to create a room, and then I want you to record my room of me reading a book.
Okay, yeah. I could do that. Do you want to go to the book club?
Let's not do it right now. Let's try to do it in the mornings, if possible.
Sounds good. But yeah, I just wanted to like let you know, like it's a pretty cool feature. You know, you could like point like another phone to like the phone, or I think like YouTube like allows you to like live stream like your screen right on the phone.
Maybe I've never figured that one out.
Okay, but it worked. 100% worked. That's pretty sick. Just wanted to test it out. So like anytime in the future you want to do that, like that idea that you had of like the mystery theater 3000.
Yeah, but see, we need more people though. We got to get the premium. That's the problem. We need like El Normo in there. We need a bunch Zach Ruda. We like need people in there to critique and laugh. While these people are having their live conversation. We need more people. It can't just be me and you. It's got to be like we need a crew of roasters. Plus, we may not want to roast. We want other people to enjoy the barbecue.
Okay, I'll think about premium. I'll think about it.
How much is the premium?
Let me check. Give me a second.
And also, can you save that streamable and then upload it to YouTube?
It's actually being live streamed to YouTube live. So like you waving like your hand was live streamed on YouTube.
Well, what's the YouTube account? Or text me the YouTube live link.
Yeah, it's How to Waste Your Time. It's that YouTube account.
Oh, you really need to relabel it.
I know.
And clean it all
up. Because people
up.
Don't want to waste their time. What are your ideas? What should I rename it as?
Just call it Subscribe Now, Please.
Okay, I'll change it to that. Because like once I get like 50 subscribers, I can then do the collaboration on YouTube, and then I can stream the screen, and then I don't have to like pay like for premium for Streamlabs.
Yeah. Clubhouse Live Podcast. Well, that's good. How to Waste Your Time? Yeah. I would just change it to Subscribe Now, Please Podcast, something like that. Because How to Waste Your Time is like a negative. And you do want people to subscribe. So I have found that actually just saying, there's this one audio clip on here that says, please subscribe now. And I use that one to build up a lot of these YouTube accounts that I have by just like doing a voiceover in front of the flag saying, please subscribe now. And sure enough.
It's a form of hypnosis. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the algo likes it and people like it. And then they subscribe. And you're like, holy shit, like all communication is hypnosis.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, I'll get back to you to see like how much like the premium is. But anyone who has that link, up to like 12 people can be like roasting at a time, being then live streamed onto YouTube. And I'll also change my YouTube account name to something that's a little better.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna go back to what's interesting is there's a YouTube video called Wasting Your Life by Venerable Fulton Sheen. It's got 1.7 million views. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. He's a good speaker. TikTok, I'm trying to like do more TikTok, but some of my phones for some reason aren't allowing me. Dr. Nero is in the house.
The
Hey,
two, right?
good,
which
Dr.
are
Nero.
you
How are
more
you?
prone to lean towards? If you can describe it as a...
What are you doing? Chilling.
And suddenly, it's December, and you're not...
I've been uploading a ton of stuff to TikTok today. And I've been live streaming on TikTok, and they've already removed my ability to live stream.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. I guess they said hate speech or something. I'm suspended till mid-December, like for a hot minute. But right now, this is an analysis room of the Bondi Beach terrorist attack. I don't know if you saw it, but it looks just like October 7th. Tons of dead bodies everywhere. Very coordinated killing with two, good shot, high-speed shooters. So we're listening to the response and analysis.
And I understand culture clashes.
I love white people with red hair. especially women.
Maybe we can find one that belly dances for you. But look, but I'm not afraid to say that. And at the same time, I'm also not afraid to say that I don't think that every illegal immigrant in here is just wanting to shoot people, right? I just don't think that. I think that people just want to work and eat and take care of their families for the most part. I think that I think our government purposely brings in people they work with, and I think all governments globally bring in people they work with to set up things when things are necessary. So I look at that Afghan situation that we are not talking about anymore, and I kind of saw this coming 5 years ago when I was watching, or excuse me, 4 years ago when I was watching them come in. And I said the government is bringing in people that they work with to do things. Okay, so
called the Yalian dialectic.
Well, I don't know what that. Oh, yeah.
Problem, reaction, solution.
Yeah.
Let's go to
let me just finish this last thing. The other point that I was making about the shooter, I mean, there's so much more that I could say because it's like so many things that happened. Two things. The shooter, with his name being Ahmed, yeah, that is a very Muslim name. The only reason why, y'all know I love my Muslims, I would love to say that the Muslim is the hero. I don't have a problem saying that. It's just that I have to do it.
He sounds Irish to me. I don't know what you're talking about. He sounds Irish.
He's like Black Patty Ahmed. No, but
yeah,
yeah, what?
I'm just kidding. I know that this is a serious subject, but I mean, I was adding a little.
No, yeah, I don't want to make sure. I know, yeah, but I have to do it both ways. But I don't officially know his religion. That's not the biggest thing for me, you know what I mean, for the hill. But like, I'm just glad that he did. But he had to do. Second thing, diligent. Did you see that they came out with a shooter for the Brown situation? The Brown University. They're saying is this white man.
Wisconsin.
What?
A white man from Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, from Wisconsin, yeah. And now some people are saying they heard him scream Allahu Akbar. Now, let me tell you something. Then, so they're like, I don't think it's him because they heard somebody scream Allahu Akbar.
I need to hear it before I believe it. I need to hear it before I believe it.
And I'm going to, and if anybody does something like this and they scream Allahu Akbar first, I'm going to know for if the government set up. Because that's just part of the script. Because why would so it's just we're talking like, oh yeah, make sure you scream Allahu Akbar. So that's just how it's gonna feel like for me. And
somebody broke out my window and robbed my car a few years back, and I know that they screamed Allah Akbar before they did it. So, and you can't change my mind.
So sad, but I mean, I'm talking about the ones on. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let me go to some hands. Gio, go ahead.
Hello there, how you going? I'm in Australia, and listening to Australian talk speak, I would say a lot of Australians share his sentiment. I served in the Australian Army as an infantryman. I'm very familiar with weapons, and the police force here in Australia do not carry long arm rifles in the boots of their cars. They are not trained with long arm rifles. They're only trained with handguns and pepper spray and other means. They do not have high levels of training. This is the problem that I would say is the major problem Australia faces. We are supposed to rely on our police to protect us as a society, but they are not trained to do that. Yet the government won't allow the people the means to defend themselves. I heard that woman speaking saying that you can have justification for as many firearms as you want. Yes. But you must keep them locked in a gun safe. You must keep the ammunition locked separately. You can't carry them around the streets to self-protect yourself and your family. This is part of the issue. If the police did have the sufficient training, they would act. They would act immediately if they were nearby, just enough to provide incoming fire to these chaps, so they would feel like they need to duck down and not be so brazen. One of those gentlemen was walking out in the open with a shotgun, and an unarmed bystander was able to disarm him, yet the police were nearby and not even providing any sort of incoming fire to tell these guys, you need to stop doing what you're doing. This is totally unacceptable from any military or training background. The training they get is totally insufficient. The response was insufficient. Any politician stands up and says, the police are doing their best, I would really question them about the training they receive. Like, they go to the basic training, they get 6 weeks of handgun training, they can become qualified, can shoot a target. It's ridiculous. That's my opinion.
Do you think that the delay in response we saw from vicinity, just the time it took from there, and then also the reports of officers going by in their patrol cars and not stopping, as well as officers standing by, is because they were inept and inadequately armed and trained, and that's why we have reports of them not responding for so long?
My opinion is if you are armed with a 9mm pistol and you're coming up against long-arm rifles, your training would be to stay out of the way. Your training would be to wait for the special operations groups to attend and take care of the situation. That's what your training would be, which is not... I'm not saying that part of it's...
If an unarmed
I'm saying the part where they
approaching the guy. What do you mean? Like, if an unarmed civilian can get within tackling distance of the guy, how can a police officer not get within handgun firing range? I don't understand that logic.
No, but the point is that you're equipped with a small arm fire. You are coming up against with someone with a long, high-powered weapon. Your training, this is what I'm talking about, is the training is not sufficient. You're coming up against highly powered weapons. You're going to be trained to stay out of the way and not endanger yourself until higher powered weapons come to the scene. The point is they don't have higher powered weapons in their vehicles. They're not equipped. The training is not sufficient. They don't have the required weapons to defend the people of the nation. If they don't have the weapons to defend the people of the nation, yet they say to the people, you're not allowed to have weapons, and if you do have a weapon, you have to keep it in a safe, in your house locked, and you have to keep the ammunition in a separate safe, only to be used for sporting and other activities, yet we can't use them to protect ourselves. This is a major problem.
I'll show you, or Ms., you can respond, and since he brought you up, and then I'm going to go to Aussie. Go ahead, Ms.
Yeah, so from my experience, what I've seen, they have got long arm rifles in their boot, so I've seen it happen. I've seen people get raided, they get out, pull out the guns, get in the boot, pull out the guns. You can even check online, it shows you exactly which guns they're meant to be carrying. But like I said, I'm in Melbourne, so maybe it's different in New South Wales, but I've seen it with my own eyes. So, and also the training.
Aussies on that point, though, Australian Talks or Aussie Crusader, do you guys, do cops have, high-powered rifles at their disposal in their vehicles? Even if not, surely the police station that's right there, on the block would have rifles, right, Gio? Right?
Yeah, but that's the thing, Dylan. They do. Rifles. They do have them in their lockers locked away. But what's the point of that? They need to have them in the vehicles. They need to have sufficient training. They need to be able to pull them out at least to suppress the fire. The guys doing the firing. They need to be at least be able to suppress them until special operations do arrive. Even if, like that young lady was saying about helicopters and those type of things, we do need to have a response. But they do need to have the training to at least put down 1 round per second or whatever on those gentlemen firing to suppress them. But they're just allowed to walk around in the open and fire. Like, give me a break. That is totally unacceptable from any trained person.
That's Aussies coming up. I love my Aussies. Aussie Crusader, and then Hit Slap. There you go. Hi, Hit Slap. What are your thoughts, man?
Obviously a very tragic event. I'm inclined to agree with Jeff, and I just want to point out 2 things that are maybe different from the US. The first thing is, and this is on average, okay, there are exceptions, but I see a lot of cops in the US, they kind of, from video footage and certain, my perception is a lot of the cops in the US are kind of willing to lay down their lives to do the right thing. They get into the police force because they want to make a difference, have good intentions in the beginning. In Australia, there's a lot of, DEI hirings, and we want more women in the workforce, and a lot of people do it just for a paycheck. It's kind of, I have the impression that it's a much different mentality than you get in the US. So Jeff's absolutely correct. I know 2 people who are cops, and the regular patrol cars, they all have a lockup, like a security gate or something in the boot that they can lock stuff in, but they're generally not carrying high-power rifles unless they have, like, warning, or if they know, or if there's a scheduled raid or something like this. But the regular cops don't. They have the facility, they'll have something where you can lock something up, but they're generally not carrying high-power rifles. It is true. They generally just got their handguns. The other thing is, most cops, well, again, I don't want to stereotype, but I know from talking to my 2 friends who are cops, a lot of the cops are just doing to get a paycheck. They don't really want to get shot at. They don't want to risk their ass. They just think, oh, I'll just go out there, I'll get a paycheck and blah, blah, blah. So when the call comes over, you might say, why don't they just go running in there with their handguns?
Are you saying that they're pussies?
No, I'm saying that the mentality, well, this is just perception. I'm not drawing on any data, but my perception in the US is, like, when there's a school shooting or whatever, it seems like there's a lot of cops who want to go running in there and save the kids, or to say, what's going on. Whereas, because of, I guess, why they got into becoming police officers. Whereas in Australia, there's a lot of, you can even see the recruitment ads. You can make a living being, are you a woman? We need more women. And we don't encounter, Jeff, I think Australian Talk made this point, the police, not many people in Australia are armed, so when a lot of people who get into to become police officers, they don't expect to encounter a gun very often. So they're not trained in the same way that the American police officers seem to be very well trained to deal with someone with a weapon. Whereas a lot of Australians, you even saw ages ago in Melbourne, there was a guy, he drove a car with like some incendiary devices into the middle of the CBD, and I think he had like a sword or something. And there were 5 cops surrounding him. They all had guns. They didn't know what to do. Do we shoot him? Do we not shoot him? It took ages for them to even get there. So I just want to make one point that the Australian police force, when it comes to dealing with 2 people with high-power rifles, most of them are going to, we don't have very good training for that. This is absolutely true. So I tend to agree with that. And in terms of having a gun, again, I know people had guns. I looked to get one myself. There are a lot of rules and a lot of laws. You do have to keep the ammunition separate. You can only get a bolt-action rifle. The clip can only have like 3 or 5 bullets. It's very low-powered. In order to get any kind of like semi-automatic gun or like what you consider an AR-15, you need a hunter's license. You have to go through loads of kind of hoops. It's very hard to get anything other than a bolt-action with like 5 bullets in the clip. So my impression is the reason it took so long is, again, one, Australian cops are not really equipped to deal with kind of mass shootings, and there is a special police force or a couple of special areas where you guys do have like the SWAT team, whatever. When they do raids, they are well trained. They have very, high-powered ammunition. They have shields, they have masks, they have a lot of stuff, right, police? But the average police officer is, in my mind, I mean, if we get a cop on here, they can contradict me. When they get the call out, shots fired, high-powered rifles, blah, 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 a lot of them are going to panic. They're like, I got into this to do paperwork and get a paycheck. I don't want to get my ass shot off. So that's probably, whereas again, when I see in the US, I see some much more courageous people who are trained to deal with firearms. They probably have firearms themselves, and they're probably used to firearms in their regular life, let alone having to do it at work. So the Australian police, when it comes to dealing with, shooting event, the right team, okay, but the regular cop, they're going to be inept. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to panic. They're going to keep their distance until they're going to wait for the right police. The regular officers are not going to do very much.
So you attribute...
Can I just make one quick point before I leave? I'm just going to say that the police are carrying these firearms for self-protection. That's the main reason for them carrying firearms, in case they get attacked by someone wielding a knife, because they don't expect to get attacked by someone carrying a firearm because of the strict controls. So they are wearing vests, they carry the firearms only for self-protection purposes, and that's the main reason they get trained to use them.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Okay. Can I just respond to that?
Hold on. I'm giving the Australians I'm giving them priority here. Sorry about that, bro. And then Aussie, and then we'll go to Mick, of course.
Yeah, like just want to say Hitchlap hit the nail on the head there, right? Like there's this overall ineptitude. But I'd like to go further and say there's also a depth of nationalism and kind of sense of duty in Australia. So you look at like the average American cop or the average American, there's like this immense sense of national pride. And if you look at something like Australia, right, we destroy like nationalism. And I'll give you an example. So our intelligence apparatus, which is called ASIO, which is basically the same equivalent of the FBI/CIA, they have openly said that their 50% of their budget and time is dedicated to right-wing extremism. It's dedicated to nationalists. And the other 50% is dedicated to Islam. And I don't know if Australian Talks told you, but they just came out and said there's a 50% risk of Islamic terror. So if our intelligence agencies are deeming like nationalism, duty, and all these types of things as an enemy, right, it doesn't shock me that the cops then, the apparatuses of the state, don't have that sense of nationalism and duty, and they're just basically agents. And that's why you see that kind of cowardice. But yeah, so Australia as a whole is a kind of a good canary in the gold mine to see what happens when you destroy these nationalistic tendencies. And we have the direct state effort to do that.
It's just crazy to me with all of the like anti-Muslim rhetoric that's been dialed up to 11, the last few weeks especially. It just happens to be that there's this Muslim attack that they stand down at. Like, you can't help but like not see it. Like, that there's something weird about that. Let me go. Go ahead.
I'm a conspiracy guy, right? Like, I'm all for you on
I'm
that.
not a conspiracy guy. Just want to throw that out there.
No. But what I mean is, I'm all for looking into things, right? But when you look at the Muslim community, right? Like, they're the last group of people that you really need a conspiracy to justify them doing something. Like, out of all the religions, Islam's like the one that's like most likely to actually do something. So it's the real issue is there's a fifth column. And let's say theoretically that they were allowed to do it or they were coaxed or whatever. That doesn't change the fact that there's ample soldiers within our nations that are able to be coerced into doing these things. So it's like 9/11, right? Everyone talks, not 9/11, it's like ISIS. Everyone says, ISIS is probably American or Jewish or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, Muslims from around the world were willing to go and join it. A shit ton of Australians flew to the Middle East to go fight for ISIS. So the point will always be we have a literal fifth column within our nations that has openly declared war on us. They openly say that they're in constant jihad. They openly say that they will not stop until the world is Islamic. But yet we sit back and allow a literal Trojan horse to destroy our nation from within. It's horrific. Look at Wisconsin within America. How is that American? Right? Like, they're literally Islamifying a fucking city there.
I mean, I'm just going to set the record straight a little bit on that. There is no adoption of Sharia law in the United States. It is unconstitutional for the U.S. government to adopt a religious doctrine. It's actually established in what's called the Establishment Clause of our Constitution. So that fear-mongering shit that I see from both sides, where I hear that the Jews are going to enforce the 7 laws here, or that the Muslims are going to enforce the Sharia laws here. It's not going to survive. It doesn't pass the sniff test for me. It sounds like fear-mongering because I know how the Constitution works and how the judicial system works. And it is, as much as they want to say that it's happening, you cannot give me one example of Sharia law being enforced in the United States.
Yeah, look, it's not enforced on a government level.
Hold on, bro. Okay, I'll let you go on for a long diatribe. We're going to let Mick go, and then we're going to go to Maze. Go ahead, Mick.
Thanks for having me back. I missed a lot of your space because I had to do a few things. There's a report, I don't know if you touched on it, that the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese of Australia, has announced that he's not ruling out further gun reform laws for Australia based off these events, which is literally what I was saying earlier in the space, earlier this morning or afternoon in your times, which is probably the bigger concern because there's already extensive laws in place and restrictions to gun ownership in Australia. The other aspect of is that Jeff is correct, and I support his sentiment regarding police in Australia. Police in Australia are not as patriotic as what Americans are in that part. Yes, they will, serve. They're doing their job. It's there for a paycheck. But the bravery levels of, like, say, Americans, in the police force compared to Australians, I would say is very far between. Where, and Jeff is also correct that in such events or such a shooting, natural instinct of police is to take cover when being shot at. So, yes, I'm seeing a lot of photos of police officers, taking cover as shots are going off. And I don't really know what people are expecting of police. Like, you shoot when you can, you take cover when you can. You also, your duty of care is, to your fellow people, but it's also to yourself.
But they're expecting something like that Syrian Muslim guy, Ahmed.
Hold on. Let him finish. He's our.
No, she's fine. She's fine. She's an Australian technically as well. So
I didn't know that.
What I'm getting at is, yeah, she's an Aussie. She's based on the other side of the country though. But in saying that, like, what I'm getting at is, you can't really expect these police, unless they're SOG, right, Special Operations Group, to really be taking these guys head on when you're using a smaller caliber gun, like a handgun, against these guys that have got long arms. Like, it's not logical and it's not feasible. So they eventually did. No one knows who took them out from the police, whether it was a long arm rifle by the police or a handgun, but they did eventually take them out. But again, it takes time. There's also a report that there were police actually providing security at the event. That's in the Herald Sun, released this morning, that they were there providing security to the event as this unfolded. So there was already police on the ground, and this still got to this point. So that's another concerning factor as well, that it went for 45 minutes to 60 minutes before the issue was resolved, the shooting was resolved. So just another aspect. I don't know if you guys touched on that.
No, we haven't, and that's another question. It's like, but it's interesting to hear most of the Australians I've heard so far, other than Ms., attribute this to a failure as opposed to, like a stand down order. So, which is fine, because that's a conspiratorial kind of leaning with the false flag. But it is weird though, like the instant cry for increased limitations on your liberties, and the promise of more legislation does actually add a little bit of validity to the suspicion. Go ahead, Syrian girl. I'm sorry, Maze. She's Australian, and then I'll go to you.
Hey, you see my hand, Dizzy, or no?
Yeah, we're going to the Australians first, bro. I mean, I don't see the hand.
Sorry.
I love Syrian girl. Hey, girl.
Hi, sorry, I'm taking
Which
over.
one of them is a Jew? Did you say the Jews? What's wrong? None of these people are Jewish. Maze is fucking Iranian or something. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. I'm good with Maze.
Wow, you're obsessed, dude. You're obsessed. Go ahead.
No, bro, I've been here for like 50 minutes, like an hour.
I didn't know Maze is Jewish. What?
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Bro, do not spread lies about Maze, okay? I'm not Jewish.
Okay, you know who else they spread lies about? They spread lies about the guy who disarmed the shooter. His name was Ahmed al-Ahmad. Turns out he's a Syrian Muslim. I'm originally born in Syria, so I will take it. I'm very happy that he turned out to be a Syrian. And the shooters themselves, okay, so first of all, let me get back to the lies. Netanyahu claimed he was Jewish. And then there's all of these Zionist Twitter accounts now trying to claim that he's a Lebanese Maronite. The guy took 2 bullets to stop the shootings on an Australian beach, and over in another country far away, Israel is lying about him. And that's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable that they would interfere in Australian affairs like that and tarnish the reputation of a man who took 2 bullets for Australia. That's first of all. And I'm going to put some evidence in the nest as well.
Don't put it in the nest. Put it in the purple pill.
Okay, sorry. No worries. Purple pill is the comment section here, yeah? So the other thing is that, I could tell he was Syrian or from the Levant just by the look of his face. I could also kind of tell that the shooters were Central Asian. I couldn't tell if it was Pakistan or Bangladesh, but then, the names that come out were Pakistan. The shooters We're a father and son duo, actually, which is kind of sad because, you know, like, your father would usually not push you to do something like that. They were targeting a event for Hanukkah, as we know, and they were from the Wahhabi school of thought. The Wahhabi school of thought, and I can put evidence of this in the nest, is the sort of sect of Islam that is most commonly associated with ISIS. And you can tell because a lot of them have beards but no moustache. And also they went to a Wahhabi school. Not like a child school, but a religious school. I'm gonna put that into the purple pill, and you do with it as you wish. Sorry, I'm back. My brain's frazzled a bit. Yeah. So, we don't really know. We know that the guy that disarmed them was shot twice. I don't know if he was shot before or after doing the disarming. But I wanted to comment also about the police thing that you guys were talking about. I saw that there was at least 10 footage straight of the shootings, and I didn't realize it was going on for 40 minutes. But I will say that the police here have a lot of procedures that they have to go through before they act, and this was kind of seen in the Lint Cafe terrorist attack, if you guys remember that incident where it was a chocolate cafe and people were held up at gunpoint by one crazed individual. And then also the police had, they could have acted sooner, but there was some argument about whose jurisdiction it was to act. That it may be a procedural thing. I guess people would expect something like, the hero, the Syrian Ahmed al-Ahmed, jumping in, but I think they would, the police officers themselves would definitely do that, but in that situation they may have been constrained by orders, and eventually they did do that. But it is, one of the guys that was there, apparently one of the injured, was only in Australia for 2 weeks, and he arrived from Israel. So that was also interesting because it makes me wonder if these specific individuals were targeted. It depends, because there was another man that was also a very high-profile Shabbat guy that is from Israel. So I'm just wondering if it was random. They were just shooting at this event, hoping to kill Jews, as per, their kind of terrorist ideology, or was it
the particular school of Islam that these guys hail from are more likely or more prone to be ISIS, which is the Islamic extremists, and that not only that, you're assuming that this was likely targeted given the profile of the people who have been.
I don't know if it was likely targeted because obviously a Syrian man was shot twice. So I don't know who. It's a possibility.
Right?
It's a possibility.
He intervened, right? That's why he was shot.
Yeah, he intervened. Maybe that's why he was shot. Or maybe he was shot beforehand. We don't really know. There was a lot of people running for their lives. It was an open, the festival was open, so it could have been anyone who was shot. I saw 7 bodies on the ground, but we haven't gotten a report. I think there was 12
what do you think
total.
about, given all the facts that we know so far, which would you lean more towards, a terror event or a false flag?
Honestly, I think it's probably a terrorist attack. Because I just think that the ingredients were just all there. Do you know what I mean? There are points of, I haven't read everything, and there are things that obviously make you but I don't have any specific bit of evidence.
Well, people can't really say that you're not being. I mean, I think that's very. Given your what I assume to be your biases, I think it's remarkably objective of you to like take that kind of position, right?
I do appreciate that. I'm open to the possibility. I just haven't seen any evidence. Like I don't, like for example, 9/11.
Like the response time and the standing down is what like raises my suspicion. But I'm also not Australian, and after hearing all of the Aussies give their perspective on why that occurred as far as training and weapons that they would be carrying, because it's really common. Like we see police officers carrying rifles all the time. Like it's really common here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
yeah, they only have handguns and batons and mace for weapons. They have a specific SWAT team that does carry the bigger guns. I don't know if someone already said that. So they would have been on the scene, I would say. Like, the SWAT team would have been
Maze, you want to add? Maze, you want to add the county
part that I was going to say, so I don't want to repeat it. She did a great job. She gave way more information.
Maze, is this an ISIS attack? You, Omar, man, don't put shit in my jumbotron. You're going down. You heard me say that to her.
I would like to caveat that I don't think it was an ISIS attack specifically. Like, there was no ISIS flags or anything. They were wearing a DYNK shirt. So I would say, though, that they are of that school, which is called Wahhabism. It's a specific school of thought in Islam, and they often have beards without mustaches. You'll just know them when you see them. I don't have any specific information about it being ISIS.
Oh man, I'm gonna
just to clarify.
Thank you for that. I profile her whenever I'm out in public and I see I'm at an event. I'm gonna be looking out for the beard with no mustaches. Thank you.
It can also be Amish.
Amish?
Yes, the Amish also have a beard with no mustache.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually true. I've met them.
It comes from the same source.
But they have a little bit of a. But they have a little bit of a different ethnicity, right? Typically, at least the Amish.
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
A little variation there. All right, go ahead, Maze.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I don't know. I actually what she just added about the Wahhabis and all that. I didn't even know any of that. That's so. But I don't. Yeah. So
one last thing, Maze. I'm so sorry. Okay, so sorry, guys. Israel is trying to blame Iran, which is hilariously ironic because Iran is of the Shia school of Islam, and Wahhabis want to kill Shias. So the Wahhabis, like these, the sect of the Pakistani Muslims that did the attack, they would actually have killed Shia Muslims in Iran. So just to show you what the Israel is trying to exploit this to the maximum, and they're just spreading lies and propaganda everywhere. Sorry, Mace. Please go ahead.
No. That's great. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, I mean, so anyway, I personally just wanted to highlight that the person that took the gun out of his hands was Muslim as well. So it's like, it's just kind of one of those things that is important to include.
I hope that your ideological counterparts are as objective as you guys are being right now.
Well, they definitely aren't. They're claiming that the guy that did it, the hero that was a Maronite Lebanese, he was a Syrian Muslim. I will say that in general, and this is my observation, and I hope it doesn't come off racially bad, but people from Central Asia are the India, Pakistan region. They tend to be a lot more religiously extreme than the people in the Levant, like Lebanon, Syria, and it's just very much more common for that to happen. Like Afghanistan, Pakistan is a lot more religiously extreme than Syria, Lebanon.
Aussie's going nuts. So go ahead, Aussie.
Yeah, so I keep hearing talk of Wahhabism and how that is the only bad aspect of Islam. Well, Islam itself is fundamentally an adversarial faith. We all hear the mention of the word jihad and the word struggle. Well, the Quran directly says that they're in an eternal jihad until they have converted the world. So Islam fundamentally is not cohesive with the West. And you merely have to look, and let's not talk about Wahhabism, Shia, Sunni, any of them, right? Let's look at the Prophet. The Prophet picked up a sword.
You're making very broad stroked generalizations that I don't allow people to make of Jews, and so therefore I'm not going to allow you to make it of Muslims, right? We speak objectively, and we have individual accountability in my spaces. So I realize that, you want to propagandize the 1,000 listeners right now, but that's not going to occur. Right? We do individual accountability. We do individual. If you interrupt me again, I'm going to drop you down. We do individual accountability in these spaces. So, like I said, the same way that I don't allow people to make generalizations about Jews in my spaces for their faith, I'm not going to allow you to make the same generalizations about Muslims about their faith. That's how we operate in my spaces, sir. All right, go ahead, Mace.
Well, let me educate the Aussie, okay? First of all, it does not say that in the Quran. That's bullshit. And when it talks about jihad, there's 3 different kinds. And the one about the internal struggling, there's the social one that's striving to do good, and then the defensive military jihad, which is allowed only in specific circumstances. This is according to the Quran. There's no concept of anything being eternal, okay? Like some sort of, permanent jihad until everyone's converted. That's absolutely bullshit.
I shut it down.
I know, but there was a whole bunch of people that heard the nonsense, so I just wanted to poke at it really quickly. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that all Muslims are extreme, and I don't think all Jews are supremacists.
I never said that. So I never said that at all.
It was implied.
I said the holy man, the pinnacle of the faith.
All right, so I'm going to have to drop you down since you don't know how not to talk over the host. I warned you. Okay,
well,
I'll
just say this to him: if he ever wants to have dialogue and really understand what
I'm willing to have that conversation, or if you want to have that conversation, that's fine. It's just not the point today. But I do want to ask, because there are extreme, and we have Syrian Girl. There are extreme factions of all of these religious ideologies, and if you haven't caught on yet, and here's what I think I want to highlight the most to our listeners, is that these geopolitical religious battles that are occurring in the Middle East are they're being brought to our homes on both sides. Both sides are propagating their information campaigns, their ideologies, the extreme versions of those ideologies, and in the USA and other places in the West, right? And there is no one side is justified and the other. I don't want these fights to be happening on my soil at all, right? I'm actually with Mick. If you cannot agree to get along with your ideological counterparts, then both of you should fucking go home. That's the way that I see it, right? Not just one or the other. You're not going to make me pick a side. If you're going to bring your fucking fight here, you both got to go home, okay? Play nice. Get the fuck out. Go ahead, Mick. You can respond.
No, 100%. I support that. I support that commentary, 100%. I wanted to add earlier what's something different for you Americans to us Australians with police here. American police, if I'm correct, you're trained to deal with the threat accordingly, which is eliminate the threat, right? Australian police aren't trained the same way to pretty much, if they see a gun immediately is to eliminate the threat. They are not trained in the same manner. So I would imagine in certain American states that if someone has a gun, it's essentially put the gun down and pretty much they'll just delete the individual, right? Whilst here in Australia, it may be similar training, but I don't believe it's as intensive or similar in that part. You could almost go down the road of Bondi Junction, if you guys recall what occurred there a year or so ago there was a pause between the police officer shooting the individual before he was taken out. It's not the same approach. We don't run the same sort of procedures, I suppose you could say, as what Americans do when we have like a threat like that. Because again, like I say, they'll wait for special ops to come in instead of trying to deal with the threat themselves. Special ops are trained differently, that they'll delete the threat at the first available opportunity if they've been given the fair warning. So very different. So yeah, it's concerned. Another aspect as well, at this event last night, and I didn't mention this earlier in the space, Dilly, the opposition leader of the New South Wales government, which is essentially, imagine the opposition party, like the Democrats, right, was at that event, and she had an escort with her at the event as well. So she was there throughout the entire shooting, and she also, Kelly Sloan, Syria girl, she was there. She also ran back in, apparently, didn't follow protocol. She actually ran back in to attend to the wounded and try and help people get away from the scene. So, according to reports that I read last night. So, I forgot to add that in.
That is unfortunate. So, is that adding to the concept that it was targeted? Perhaps.
Well, I don't know. Kelly said, because I think Shari tried to interview her last night, because Shari was pointing the blame and she didn't want to jump on the blame game. She goes, now's not the time. The time right now is like there's families that are grieving, families that don't have loved ones. But there was also, it was in the Herald Sun, I'm pretty sure, The Age, in their reporting last night, that when the shooting was there, she was there as the shooting was going off. She helped get an elderly couple and their family away from the scene, but then she ran back in as police were dealing with the matter to go attend to victims that were on the ground that were bleeding. So, yeah, that's the opposition leader of New South Wales.
It's unfortunate that she had to do that with kids being shot, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when people...
Was there really kids shot?
There was a 10-year-old...
One little girl, 10-year-old dead.
That died, yep. Yeah, and anytime somebody uses that kind of tragedy for a political purpose, I don't care how much you virtue signal. It's just atrocious, right? It's despicable behavior. Coyote, I have to let him go, unfettered. Coyote, the floor is yours.
Appreciate it, man. I'm glad Nick's up here because I had some questions on it. I dove into Hanson. She did the wore the burqa thing into the is it Parliament or whatever? Yeah, the first time 2000.
Correct.
Yeah, so she did it again recently, and I dove into it again, and I remember going in. It's like y'all have what like kind of a similar to what we call APAC or whatever, but it's like they do trip, and it's pretty heavily influenced. What was that shit called? It was like the Ramban ECA. Is that said something like that? Anyway, they take them on trips and probably give them money and stuff, but and it's very polarized because y'all have had these issues before, with this whole thing. I see it like this, Diligent. I think it's just look at the guy when he came out. It's like an attack on the First Amendment. Like this happened. I don't know exactly what happened, but what we're hearing, I mean, that's what we got to go off of. But his I didn't like his verbiage when he came and gave that press release right there. And then why is he mentioning Benjamin Netanyahu? Like we don't do that whenever we have something happen with Jewish people or anything. We don't mention the Middle East, and they have a very unique connect. Like they got a close relationship. He's allowed over there. There's no war criminal stuff or whatever. It's willy-nilly. He's got a very strong hold over there in Australia, and that's the only thing about it because I see it as a multiculturalism thing. It's just a big push, and y'all got to deal. It's kind of like what we got, and Ireland's got, and everybody else. But I think it's they're going after your speech, man. I really, really do. It's not so much the guns, but yeah, it's if you look into like the lobby, like these people, bro, they're cut just like we're cut, man. Y'all sitting it, everything, man, and it's sad because it's like I can't believe that lady. She wore that burqa twice. I mean, that's got to polarize the whole, and that wasn't that long ago. That probably brought tensions up between the Muslim people and the Jewish community because it's like a holy war thing. But I'm tired of it too, dude. It's like last night we had fun, dude. That was a good space. Everybody was just chilling and talking, and there was none of this wars and this rhetoric. These people have been coming up here, and trying to subvert everybody and shit. It's like
I haven't seen that really this space, man. It's been pretty cool. There's been a few people who have strong opinions about the Muslim population in Australia. And let me just say this though, some of that is merited. We've had a mass migration of people into our countries, and it's not just the Muslims who have been taking heat, but also Latin Americans, at least here in the United States, right? It's not, we've never singled out any one group in that regard. So a lot of, that's just like a national, I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's more of a nationalist point of view where, they take issue with these groups of migrants who are being allowed into our country, and they're not wanted, right? And so I can at least see his point of view in that regard, and maybe he has an underlying ideological difference there that spurs him on, but I can't speak for him, and because he couldn't operate with the quorum, he's no longer up here. Mitch, if you are down there listening, I didn't drop you down. I thought you dropped, but I would rather have a balanced panel, so if you want to come up here and offer your perspective, you can. Go ahead. Did you have anything else to add, Cody, and then Jenny real quick?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, for them, I understand it. I mean, dude, it didn't, 40 years old or whatever, until I started seeing a lot of these things. I was with the big, war on terrorism, and I still, I understand that aspect. But the financial aspect, I see these, some of the other things, and as you know, the ideological thing, I do not subscribe to. Point blank, I think that's what drives the multiculturalism. It's just another ploy of, you can't blame me. That's the whole thing. It's never ending if we try to find one person or whatever. The way that it goes is they push the multiculturalism. It becomes like Great Britain, where you can't say anything about Islam, you can't say anything about Jews, and then you can't say anything patriotic once they start, messing with the free speech. And I think that's kind of what's going on, Mick. I mean, I don't know if you feel this. I know some of your views on things.
My views, believe me, you don't want my views on a lot of these things right now. It's just some things are best left unsaid until things cool down. I think that would be the more appropriate answer. Fuck Coyote, you made me forget what I was going to say, man, which is actually really frustrating because you talk so much sometimes. I forgot, man. If I remember, I'll put my hand.
You're good. Sorry. Go ahead, Syrian girl, and then we'll go to Jenny.
Yeah, thanks. I guess for me, I'm kind of in a unique position because I am from Syria, and as you know, we had a major terrorism problem where a lot of foreigners with terrorist ideology flooded into our borders and started joining Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and a lot of them were, from Uyghur China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan. Some of them also were from Europe. They were just very international. And so, as a Syrian of a Muslim background, I've been terrorized by these types of Muslims, all of which follow the Wahhabi doctrine. And not all Wahhabis are terrorists. I'm not saying that, and there's a lot of them in the Gulf Arab world, but all of the ISIS and Al-Qaeda guys are Wahhabis. And it's just really annoying. I don't know how else to describe it. It's annoying and frustrating that these guys are actually really destroying the image of everybody else who happens to be Muslim. And the Syrian Muslim Ahmed,
the same thing happens with the Jewish people, correct? There's these really extreme Zionist viewpoints that are generalized to Israelis or Jews in general, right? And so it's fair to say that
It is fair to say, and I would say that Zionism used to be an unpopular ideology amongst Jews, but now it's become the prevailing ideology. And I've seen some rejection of that post October 7th. Like, there's been a lot more Jews that have been turned anti-Zionist as a result of the genocide. But likewise, I think Wahhabism used to be niche, but I see more and more that it's becoming like popular.
Why do you think that it's why do you think that it is becoming more popular amongst Muslims? Funding.
Funding is whoever said that, you're absolutely correct. You have from in the Gulf, like Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and I know like the Zionists are gonna be like, oh, it's Qatar thing, but it's just fact. They're funding.
Stop interrupting. David, mute your mic.
They're funding the mosques that.
So start over, Syrian girl.
Sorry, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, other Gulf states, they fund a lot of mosques that prescribe to this ideology around the world. So it is funding. But I will also say that Qatar and Saudi Arabia are also, ironically, the closest...
Hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Doesn't the U.S., like as came out with Tucker and talking to the Qatari prince or whatever he is, or the president, prime minister, whatever he is, that the U.S. and Israel funds Qatar to be the brokers, the negotiators.
This is what I was trying to tell you. Ironically, it just so happens that Qatar and Saudi Arabia are the closest to normalizing with Israel. And the king of Qatar actually was visiting Israel multiple times. This video that was leaked out of him visiting Israel in 2012. So in spite of all of the, if you listen to, what's her name? I forget her name suddenly, but you know who I'm talking about, right? That Laura Loomer, and all that, and all of those guys saying Qatar Carlson and all of that. What Qatar is pushing is a two-state solution. They're not actually pushing for the end of Zionism or the end of Israel. They're pushing for a two-state solution, which some Zionists ascribe to. So they are only those that don't want the two-state solution, that just want greater Israel, see Qatar as a threat.
I don't want to make
they're not really against Israel.
Back to the Muslim radicalization.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I am moderating it as I can. It has a tendency to swallow up the conversation, so I'm just trying to avoid that. But it is adjacent, so we are.
You can go ahead with the radicalization if you want a Coyote to.
I want to. Thank you. Please stop interrupting. I want to get to Jenny because I've called her on like 6 times and she hasn't had a chance. And she's Australian as well. Go ahead, Jenny.
Thank you. Good morning from Sydney, Australia. Hi, guys. Firstly, my heart and prayers go to the victims and their families in Bondi attack. We are all really, really sad in Australia, especially in Sydney. This is a terrible day. I just would like to go to people spoke earlier in the space just regarding Islam. I'm Jenny. I'm a Lebanese Christian from Lebanese background, but I've been in Sydney most of my life. One of the guys said that the hero who disarmed the attacker, he was Muslim, and when he knew he's a Muslim, he just let him go, didn't shoot him. I think it's really, really unfair because this guy, I'm sure he's not trying to shoot. Maybe
he was shot twice.
Yes, he was. Please let me speak. Just get in. If I get interrupted, I forget what I'm about to talk.
Sorry.
Please. So I think this guy probably he's not trying to shoot, or if I'm in his shoes, I wouldn't shoot as well. But he's a hero. It doesn't matter if he's Muslim or not. He's an Australian hero that is saving his Australian against that terrorist, no matter what his religion. Another guy, he just said Ahmad al-Ahmad might be Christian, even if his name is Ahmad al-Ahmad. Please don't say that, because I know lots of Muslim families, and I have Muslim relatives. They are really as nice as you guys. They are really humanitarian and everything. It's not really nice to stereotype. It's really, really unfair.
It has not been officially confirmed that he is Muslim, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
It is absolutely confirmed.
It has not been confirmed by. We listened to the Prime Minister's press release during the space, and so if you have a statement from the PM or the law enforcement in Australia,
I have a statement from his relatives, and I can share that.
No, that's not the same.
It's Syrian.
So again, I'm sorry. I'm holding you to the same standard I hold everybody. No, I'm holding you to the same standard, right? It's we don't know that it's not some person who's seeking notoriety claiming to be his relative, right? Like, I would rather prefer that we wait for an official statement or something from like a defense attorney, if they have one, saying that it is or isn't the case. I'm just being objective there, Syrian girl. All right, so the last stated position of the Australian officials was that they did not assign an ideology to this attack yet, right? Does anybody refute that? Because we listened to it during the space. If that's not the case, let me know. If you have something, a different, a new official statement, but I'm just going by with what they said. All right, continue, Jenny.
Thank you. I'll stop here. I just want to say that in every religion, every community, you have the fanatics and you have the humanitarian. So please, no stereotyping. Last thing I want to say, in the Middle East, if someone called Ahmad is definitely Muslim, and this hero, we are really proud of him. And again, all my condolences to the families of the victims. Thank you guys for letting me speak with you. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jenny. Syrian, you can respond real quick, and then I'll go to the rest of the hands.
I just want to, you can take it or leave it, but this is the evidence. The news media of Australia interviewed his relative that was standing outside of the hospital. That relative was also interviewed by the Middle Eastern, like Lebanese or Syrian news, and he confirmed that they were Syrian from a Muslim background, and his name is Ahmed, obviously. Is a Muslim. But I apologize.
I thought he was Pakistani. Is that?
No, not the shooter, the hero.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the hero. I'm talking about the.
Oh, that guy is confirmed to be Pakistani, and he was a father and son duo. So there's some confusion here.
But the ideology of the if you were talking about the ideology of the hero this whole time, I'm trying to focus more on the shooter.
Oh no, we were talking. There's confusion. There's a confusion here.
I understand.
No, my friend. Let me explain. Let me clear up the confusion.
There is no. I understand.
Sure.
You are asserting that the shooter was this radical faction.
Yes, I have evidence. I have evidence.
I understand you have evidence, but we're gonna go. I'm clarifying for the audience, right? That there has been no official declaration of the shooter's espoused ideology as of yet, right? That's what my position is. And are you do you refute that?
The police didn't confirm anything. No. But there is evidence that they were part of the school. I posted it in the Purple Pill. But the hero was Syrian, while the shooter was Pakistani.
Okay, that's fine.
There's some clear up the confusion.
If you want to respond for your fellow Syrian Muslims,
well, yeah, of course I'm going to do that.
I'm not hating.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to clear up what she was trying to say.
I don't want to confuse our listeners. That as it stands right now, the ideology of this shooter has not yet been publicly disclosed.
No, it has not. You're absolutely
correct. So if anybody is out there telling you otherwise, it's not true yet. Go ahead, Mickey.
Thanks, man. I'll be quick because there's other people that have been waiting as well, like Miss Moody, etc. I think another aspect that goes through people's minds as well during these things, you guys need to understand, not in particular this case, but in other cases, where people have ended up using a gun to end up deleting somebody that's broken into their home or in such events, they've actually, I don't think it would have been the case in this situation where the gentleman disarmed one of the terrorists, obviously, but people have ended up using the firearm to defend themselves accordingly within their own property or against somebody else, and then they've been charged and they've been jailed. So, you know, we don't have the same protections. Like, we do have self-defense, yes, but it is a bit flimsy in that aspect, and it needs to be very, very clear-cut that it's self-defense. So, again, just to reiterate, if somebody breaks into your home in Australia and you go get your gun, if you're a licensed owner, and you shoot them and you kill them, and they've broken into your house with nothing else, let's say not even a knife, there is a good chance that you will be charged with either manslaughter or murder, because the laws don't protect Australians in that way. We do not have the same rights as what you guys have. It is absolutely fucking cooked, right? And it is wrong. So it is the same scenario. It came out later at Bondi Junction that there were individuals that had illegal handguns on site, but didn't end up using it under the pretense of, one, they would have been charged for having an illegal firearm, and two, it is obviously the risk factor as well that you could be charged as well, because if it's not deemed self-defense. So again, you need to keep that in mind as well.
That is so fucked, man. That is so fucked.
Yeah, so it needs to be equal force. So if someone breaks into your house,
you are your own first responder here in the U.S. Let me just say that. You know, I don't. That's why I like our country.
Well, I've seen the Florida press conferences where the police have said, you know, we're more than happy for you to delete the individual if they break into your home. You're doing them a favor. So I get it. So if someone breaks into your home with a gun and then you manage to get your gun, most people keep their guns in their garages. Now, this is not legal. That you'll be fine. But if they come into your house, you guys are changing the I'm saying that's why this is why fucking with countries out of better countries. I don't. Is acceptable. Ideology?
No, bro. Like, I didn't see a hijab in Australia until after 9/11, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm backing up what Mimi's trying to say, but she's got more of a... She was displaced from a war. So she loves Australia probably in her own way, but not the way I do. I was born here, so I love it. And I am Aussie. Like, and I had a $60,000 lease car at the front of my house, and I had Aboriginals try to steal my car. I didn't call the cops, I just beat the fuck out of them. I'm sick of these pussies from fucking Sydney controlling the narrative. Like, they're the ones that get CCTV. They're the ones that get guns. You know what I mean? Just get a cricket bat and deal with it. And don't call the fucking police. Because we got a logistics problem in Australia. We're spread out. We're flat as fuck. You understand? The police can't get anywhere. We're not built up like you guys. So if anything happens, bro, wait for it. Wahhabis, I've been complaining about this since 2016. I called up the ATO. There's a 10-minute recording of me abusing them, saying, why the fuck have you let all these Pakistanis into our country? You know what I mean? You're fucking ruining it. I've caught them, like, congregating at the end of my fucking street. And I said, what the fuck are you doing here? And they said, who the fuck are you? And I fucking literally tiger kneed one of them.
I'm pretty free speech, especially at night, but you try to, cut down the F-bombs a little bit.
I'm from Adelaide. I'm not from Sydney and Melbourne, where this shit happens, right? We deal with this shit here. Everyone knows each other. We're all like a bunch of lone wolves. And when we get together and sort this shit out, it's going to be over. We all love each other. We're all from different backgrounds. This is fucking bullshit. They literally flooded our country with Pakistanis and Indians, which are the same thing, because Pakistan was India until 1947. Pakistanis are the biggest wannabe fucking Muslims. They can't quote the Quran. They don't know nothing about Islam. They don't fucking love Jesus. Jesus is the fucking Messiah. That's what the Quran says. The Quran.
You're a little much, and you gotta water it down a little bit. I'm sure that's the case for some, but not all. You're making a lot of generalizations there. Very opinionated, very opinionated. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're gonna move it around. Let's go.
I'm Aussie. This is my country, bro. I'm Aussie. This is my country.
I hear you. We got the point. You got it. Okay, we're gonna go to Raging Rigo. Go ahead.
What's up, bro?
It's about the listener experience, bro. If you're burning me out, I'm sure you're burning them out. Go ahead.
Sorry, bro. Listen, one last thing, please. The AFP, the Australian...
That's a mute glitch.
Oh, okay.
No,
what's up?
Let him get his last thing.
Let him finish? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the mute glitch. Go ahead, David. One last thing. Unmute your mic.
Yeah. Last thing, this was an inside job. The Australian Federal Police was caught a month ago grooming a Pakistani kid to be a suicide bomber and sniper. Okay? The family went to the police, they ignored it. The family went to a Liberal MP, they ignored it, which is our Democrats. They went to a Labour, they ignored it. They had to go to a small MP, a Greens MP who bring up in Parliament, and only then it made the ABC. So they have been flooding us with Wahhabis. It's like Mimi is saying, all the ingredients are there. They have AK-47s at Jewish schools, but no AK-47s at a Jewish festival during a genocide. Get fucked!
All right, thank you. Thank you for your rant. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'm dying right now.
Go ahead, Raging.
Hey, what's up, man? So, I have a question. Has it been confirmed that this person was a Muslim? Because I've got reports and posts from other people saying that he's a Maronite Christian, that he runs a business.
So the shooter, his ideology has not been officially confirmed. The
hero, they're saying the hero is a Christian.
The hero is a Muslim, from what I've seen.
Okay, I got reports that he's a Maronite Christian, so I mean, if you guys got
those
that,
are not
that's
reports,
good.
Those are lies. It's been confirmed by his family that he's a Muslim from Syria. His name is Ahmed al-Ahmad, which is a Muslim name.
Let me just say, though, I just want to be fair, I haven't seen an official report saying that the hero
Please
is a Muslim.
check the nest.
Just
please check the nest.
Down in the.
Once I see the official report, then I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
check the purple pill. Check the purple pill. His interview.
And, a lot of people are coming out, and I'm just gonna be the bad guy right here. You steal something and then you give it back. It doesn't stop you from being something that's not compatible with the West. I'll say it over and over. These radicalized Islamists need to be pushed out. I get it that there's good people in everything. But we need to find a way to weed them out.
You realize that same approach, right, is being used on Jewish people as well, right?
Correct.
Judaism is not compatible with Christianity and therefore not compatible with the West. So, I mean, you really want to take that approach? Because I would say all is fair in love and war then,
I saw your post. I saw your post earlier, and you have a point. But at the same time, there's no religion that when it gets radicalized preaches death to another religion. But
did you not see the genocide?
Oh my God, I
could never finish talking.
I've
been talking to some of my friends here that are on this platform, and they say that the Jewish folks also have something in there. So, I mean, I've been learning from both sides, but I do see the divisive state. But at the same time, every time there's a terrorist attack, it's a Muslim behind the gun right now. So it's weird for me.
You're just a radical Catholic. That's all. I wish.
Sarah, what do you have to say about his comments?
You're not gonna like it, so I'm not gonna.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I don't like these attacks one bit. Not one bit. I did a whole stream on it, and I talked about what has gone on this week. I don't like anything that's going on. I'm very freaked out. That's all. It's not good. And if you have never read the book, The Terror Factory, then you need to read it.
Did you see my post earlier?
I loved your post.
Sarah, why are you freaked out?
There is a. I was trying to do Noxie, Sarah. I'm sorry.
I haven't spoken for hours, and I get muted as soon as I speak.
Because I was speaking when you tried to speak. That's why. It doesn't matter who it is. But
I'll take it for the team, Noxie.
There is this manufactured culture war element to what I'm seeing happening right now as far as both Jews and Muslims. And I'm not a fan of it. It's the same kind of injected culture war BS we see with the racial division in the United States between Democrats and Republicans. It has that same vibe, right? And I'm going to call it fucking out for when I see it. And I would just advise our 1,000 or more listeners right now that a lot of what you're seeing on either side, either against Muslims or against Jews, has an intent to radicalize you one way or the other, because a divided population is easier to control than a unified population. So they're going to use anything they can to get your mind occupied. Go ahead, Sarah.
We've been saying a mantra in my spaces, and we've all been saying it together. We've been saying, I will not fight Muslims for Jews. I will not fight Jews for Muslims. We just repeat that. I'm like, we are not fighting people for this. And that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, I'm freaked out because I'm a person that really likes to take a step back and really look at it at a 30,000 foot level. And that's where I'm at. So I'm really working with the information that is publicly available and that is given to us by the officials.
What do you think about the officers waiting so long to respond?
The whole video is very strange to me, and I'm not saying the video is fake or AI or anything like that. Just the environment, all of it's very eerie. It's just I don't know, man. Sorry, my dog's going crazy, but it's just not.
Oh, is that your dog? Oh man, okay.
She's a bulldog. Sorry, but yeah.
Okay, as long as it's not indigestion, you're good.
Maybe maybe I'm being a woman. It feels yucky to me. Or maybe I'm just being a chick. Chick, bruh.
Go ahead, Dr. Strange.
Thanks, Diligent. If it's okay with you, I'd like to respond back to Raging.
So you always gotta respond, Dr. Strange. You're killing me.
Raging is a Mexican heritage, right? And the common saying goes that you don't throw a rock in a glass house. The Mexican drug cartel brings in 90% of the fentanyl in the U.S.
Oh my God, here we go with this nonsense.
Hold on.
Cut it out.
It's my turn. Raging, my turn. It kills about 70,000 Americans due to overdose annually, and about 350,000 in the past 5 years. Recently, they got involved, Mexican immigrants, illegals. There's 4 million illegal Mexicans in the U.S. They got involved in flag burning. They were burning the U.S. flag and raising the Mexican flag. They are involved in human trafficking, the drug cartel, and the gangs related to them, including child prostitution. MS-13 gang has 10,000 members in the U.S., 200 cells, and they're closely aligned with the Mexican drug cartel. So for me to come in here and say, it's all the Mexicans. All these Mexicans have got to go. They're causing these issues. I mean, do you know how ludicrous that is, Raging? Do you understand?
Raging, I heard him say it was all the brown people, even.
So Dr. Strange, I am not Mexican. I am American. My ethnicity comes from various parts of Europe, and I do have some type of Native American blood from. Hold on. I do it.
Okay, let's not get into a fight as popcorn hour as that is. Let's reel it back into the substance of what's going on here with the Muslim and the pervasiveness of the extreme ideologies or whatever. I just don't want to. Let's not let it devolve. Go ahead. You can respond. Well, you weren't done yet, Dr. Strange. Land your plane, and I'll let Raging respond.
Thanks. No, I mean, there's a lot of people who come in here and just basically make blatant accusations about the Quran says this, Islam says this, and I kid you not, every time I put them to the test, okay, give me a verse. I can give you a verse. I can give you plenty of verses on the opposite, right? But yet none of them are able to produce anything, and even when they do, it's a fabricated false stuff that's not even in the Quran. So when you try to broad brush the entire religion of 1.6 or 2 billion people with hate, I mean, it doesn't go anywhere, right? Interestingly enough, I'll give you a couple of different verses just so I can put things into perspective. And this is in chapter 22, verse 40. You can correct, anybody can go check it. And were it not that God checks some people by means of others, there would have been demolished monasteries, churches, synagogues, and mosques in which the name of God is oft mentioned. And God will surely support those who support him. Indeed, God is powerful and exalted in might. And do not argue with the people of the scripture, people of the book, except in the way that is best. The people of the book is referred to the Christian as Jews. So there are so many verses, and then there's another verse that says, had your Lord willed, those on earth would all have been entirely Muslim. Then, O Muhammad, would you compel the people in order that they become Muslims? Another verse, and the nearest amongst them in love to Muslims, you will find those who say we are Christian, because amongst them there are men devoted to learning and men who renounce the world, and they're not arrogant. Quran chapter 5, verse 82. These are not verses that says, go kill Christians, go kill Jews. You don't find that in the Quran. You will never find it. And I challenge you, go find a verse that says, go kill the Christians and Jews. You will find the reverse, but not the other. There's a verse that says, whoever saves a life, it's as if they've saved all of mankind. And whoever kills an innocent person, it's as if they've slain all of mankind. These are the verses of the Quran, but look, you give me enough resources, I will weaponize every darn religion to commit even a genocide and call it something defense and self-defense. That's the reality we live in. There are religions being weaponized every single day. I mean, you had 1,000 Christian pastors just recently going to Israel, and they're being weaponized to come back and push an agenda. So don't give me this, oh, it's Islam. I'm more than happy to have that discussion.
We've been fair in this space.
No, not you, Diligent.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're making a broad argument discussion. Like you're addressing something you really need to in the context of the space because we've already addressed it. So
I appreciate that. Thanks. I wanted to
not all Jews are radical. Not all Christians are radical. Not all Muslims are radical. Not all Hindus are radical, right? And we need to move away from these generalizations that the powers that be want you to adopt because they make you controllable, okay? You need to believe in individual accountability. It doesn't matter who the individual is. Go ahead, Maze.
Can I respond?
Oh yeah, there you go.
I'm very proud of you.
Sorry, Raging.
You can respond because I all I want to say is I do appreciate that you're doing that, Diligent. I'm really grateful for your post, even because right now anybody that's really pushing this extremist or helping the extremists who want the division, who want us to fight each other, who want civil war, like it is ludicrous to run around here basically. Who it is that we need to go after are people in these very high government positions that are committing treason against the people. And while we sit here and entertain this nonsense, going after each other is just crazy. So anyway, thanks, Dilly, for doing that.
The post she's talking about is up in the Jumbotron. It's the top post. Go ahead, Raging Rigo.
What's up? So my point to him and to anybody in this space, if you're of Irish descent, you don't sit there and say, I'm an Irish American. The hyphen has been erased. You don't sit there and you say any of these things. So when I say I'm American, that's the way I see it. If you don't like it, that's too bad. I don't care. American is American. If you love this country, that's what you're here for. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you came from somewhere and if you've been here a couple of generations, if you're American, that's what the important thing is. What we're trying to figure out here is the divisioners. I've also been looking into this new group on X. You guys are going to run into them. They're called Heritage American. They call themselves WASP. They're white supremacists, and I've been trying to figure out what they're coming with. Obviously, the hate, but I wanted to also come at them. Thank you.
WASP aren't white supremacists. They're white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Yeah, and they formed a group called Heritage Americans on this platform, and they're growing.
All right. I want to keep it on topic.
Quick comment to Raging. Diligent, really quick comment. Raging, I actually don't like it when people say I am this-American. I only subscribe to being an American. Ethnically, I maybe have some different background, but right now, for all practical purposes, we're all American, and that's what matters. But sadly enough, you see that a lot of Muslims who are in this country, they're not treated that way, even when they want to be just American. That's the sad part, right? They're treated as an outsider, and they're treated as, they have to be kicked out. So that's where the challenge lies. So you look at Jake Lang and what he's doing, it's an abomination to what this country stands for.
I'll speak out of pocket on that a little bit because I posted about it. Thoroughly convinced that dude's an asset. Thoroughly convinced. Coyote.
Who's an asset? What?
Coyote.
I'm not an asset.
No, you said Jake Lang, bro. Keep up.
Oh, yeah, he's a fucking asset, dude. That dude's fucking... You can't go from slapping bacon on the Quran to kissing the wall to that. No.
And let me just highlight, Raging Rigo wants to parrot this asset. What does that tell you? Let's not go around parroting assets because then that might, shine a light on you.
Man. Depending on what she looks like.
Honestly, because, I fucks with Raging. Do you think Zionism is radical? Like this Islam thing that you talk about?
Yeah, of course it is.
That's a question for Raging.
Thank you, Raging. Did you notice Raging's voice changed?
Yeah.
Raging.
You know what? I think that Zionism, I hear a lot of Zionism and about Zionism and anti-Jew and all this stuff. I think that's radicalized too. I think people are pushing on both sides.
Do you think that Zionism is radical?
Zionism is the belief that Israel must exist, right? Or is it worse than that here? Because everybody has a different definition of what it is.
So that is fair.
That
is fair. Hold on. That is fair. In the same way that Muslims are said to be radical when you made that generalization, right? So you're actually kind of explaining my point earlier, right? Is that I believe that there are, because I have had discussions with Zionists as a self-proclaimed Zionist, not ones that I assigned, that there is, we have one on stage, but hold on, that they believe that like Israel is like the chosen or you know what I mean? That they do see themselves, from what I gathered, right? That there is like a supremacy notion amongst some of their ranks. I'm not saying all of them, but I don't think
Israel is the Jewish ISIS. Israel is the Jewish ISIS.
Okay, so I'm not. This is what I was concerned with. Let me just say this, because I think we can just kind of move past it. The supremacy notion is not exclusive to any particular ideology or belief system, right? There are factions of supremacy notions amongst every ideology on the planet. And if I spent enough time looking through them all, I'm sure I could give you examples, right? And if you want to focus on the supremacist ideologies or supremacist factions of any ideology on the planet, and then give a blanket statement as if that applies to all the people who espouse those beliefs, it is a fallacy. And so I think we can not waste our time getting into the woods on that one. But it is a fair statement to make, Raging, which is, obviously there is a pervasive Zionism that feels like it must retain supremacy and to ensure the survival of Israel to a certain regard, right? Like it's almost like a nationalist belief from what I have seen. And then I've had a few long, don't interrupt me. I've had a few long conversations with the Zionists and the Orthodox Israelis that come in my spaces, and I enjoy talking to them. But I'm just saying, like, it did seem that way, that there is at least that, like, a faction of that. So don't you think it would be fair to say that the same can apply to Zionism or Muslims, right? That there can be a radicalization or an extreme faction of either one of those ideologies?
I agree. You could radicalize any religion, even Christians, right? We have the Knights Templar, which are trying to be somehow brought back. So each type of religion can go extreme where they believe that they have some type of supremacy. And this is one thing that I've had conversations with Dr. Strange. And I'm glad that I am actually on my timeline and seeing other Muslims condemning this radical Islamist attack. If the radical Islamist attacks are pushed back against by the Muslim community, that's the good side. This is a positive because it shows people that there's good, right? It's not just bad. I do know some of the extremist things that they practice. I do have learned some of the things that they've told me. But again, there's some beliefs that, just until I see the terror attack stopping, then that's going to be a different time. But I always want to know what spurred it, what made it happen. And we never get to know what really happened. We always get cover up, so it's a bug. But I do understand what you're saying. I do believe that Israel has a right to exist. It must exist.
Can I finish?
That is
a radical point of view. That is a radical and genocidal point of view.
So Zionism is the...
I don't care.
Yeah,
Israel must exist.
So you are a Zionist then. You are a genocidal Zionist and a terrorist.
You see? Just because I believe that they should exist.
Let me explain. I'm from the...
No, you're not going to consume
Let me
my
explain.
space. No. You're not going to consume my space with this shit. We're going to keep it on topic. I was trying to point out and be fair that there are radical elements to almost every religious or ideological belief across the planet, right? And that's all I was trying to do. All right.
So I just wanted to finish on
Hold on. We're going to balance the conversation. We have somebody... His name is Zion, spelled backwards. Is this
Can I get the definition, though?
Hold on. No, I don't need you to. Okay, we've already discussed it. So I'm trying to move on. Is this dude a troll? Is he just pretending to be a Zionist because his name's Zion backwards?
What's my location, sis?
That doesn't mean that you're not a troll, sir.
No, what do you mean? If I live in Israel, so,
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the discussion so far? Go ahead.
So I agree with you 100%. The division, they tried to do it here in Israel, they tried to do it in America and everywhere. And I saw your post, I liked it. And yeah, 100% I agree with you.
And this is a secular Zionist, am I correct?
Yes.
And do you feel like that all Muslims are radical?
No, I don't. Of course I don't.
And what are your thoughts on the event that occurred in Australia this morning?
It's horrific. When that guy Ahmed saved them, I saw a video talking about it. And when I heard about it first, I was like, oh, that's a beautiful story. That's a very beautiful story. That a Muslim man saved people, Jews in this instance, from getting killed. But other than that, that's horrific. What do you mean, propaganda?
That the Muslim saved him. Do you believe that it's actually a Muslim, or do you feel like that's a spin?
Look, we'll need to hear him talk. Obviously, will give us an interview in the next couple of days, and we'll be able to judge better.
I think so as well. All right. Thanks, Noise. Go ahead, Syrian girl.
All right, I've got a few things to say. First of all, on why I believe that Zionism itself is a radical ideology, like Wahhabism can be. As a Syrian, I am of the people that Zionism genocided. So I would like to speak, please understand and respect that. It's kind of like if I was a Jew speaking about Nazism, you would allow me to explain.
You just heard a Zionist on stage say that he didn't think all Muslims were radical.
Okay, so I'd like to explain to you why let me explain. Not all Jews are radical, but all Zionists are terrorists. Let me explain why. Because when you want to come to my land, kill me, and take my land based on your religion, and you want to make that state that you create purely of your religion and kill anyone else who doesn't go by your religion, that's the same thing as ISIS. What did ISIS do when it came to Syria?
Yeah, but you're assigning groups. Hold on.
Please understand that I'm a person.
The same way that I shut it down earlier, I'm going to shut it down now. Okay? You are assigning responsibility of a state level action to individuals, right? So again, individual accountability. Are you saying that Noise up here is responsible for what happened in Syria? Is that what you're asserting?
Okay, let me ask you this, my friend. Is ISIS ideology a terrorist ideology?
I don't know.
Okay, so that's interesting you should say you don't know. But let's go to ISIS for a minute. Please give me some time to explain to you my point. When you look at ISIS, what's their ideology? They want to create. I understand, but
I think you're misunderstanding though, because again, like I was earlier with Dr. Strange, I was trying to move away from like the general theological and geopolitical conversation that likes to swallow up these when they're adjacent. Right, that's what's happening right now. So,
all right, so I'll go to what Sarah said then. Let me move to what Sarah said.
If you want, listen. If you want me to host like an objective theological debate or geopolitical debate,
it's not objective. It's theological.
If you want
it's not about that.
If you want me to host one and have that broad scoped discussion, I'm more than happy to, but I don't want to, we're getting way off.
No worries. I'll move on to what Sarah was saying, okay? What Sarah said is she has a mantra. We won't fight Jews for Muslims, we won't fight Muslims for Jews. I think that, I agree on, there is merit, but I will say that there is some way that this also could be exploited, if you will allow me to explain. Our governments in the West have taken sides on our behalf on a foreign war.
So that I would be fighting for pay, not for. Do you understand? That would be my cause. That's the point of the saying. If you're going to fight, do it for yourself. Don't do it because somebody else convinced you to do it.
I agree with your saying, and I understand where it's coming from, and I get it 100%. My issue is not with you, it's with what I would call the aggressive fence-sitters. Because when the aggressive fence-sitters tell you that you shouldn't take a side between Israel and Palestine, what they're really saying is that you should keep the status quo. And the status quo is that our governments have taken a side, right?
That's a false assertion, though, because sometimes they don't care about that would imply that they care about the results. Right? If the result was that the status quo remained the same, then I would agree with you. But if the results are yet undetermined and they have no vested interest on the outcome of those results, well, then, are they really aggressive fence-sitters? Are they trying to maintain the status quo, or are they just saying they're apathetic to it? I'm apathetic to it, to be honest with you.
You're apathetic to a genocide.
I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, it doesn't really have a whole lot of relevance.
What if your tax money was going to that genocide?
It's horrible.
Okay, but your taxes are going to...
Okay, this is what's not going to happen in my space. I've been trying to stop it. But as horrible as it sounds, it is not my problem. I am trying to keep a genocide from happening of the state here in the United States, right? I don't want a tyrannical regime putting my people in camps. I can't worry about what's happening to your people over there. There's atrocities that are happening globally all the time in South Africa and Asia and various locations. And I'm not going to do it. So, and I've said that my position on this has been consistent, right? If one side wants to glass the other side over there, it's not my problem. It's
Your
mine.
weapons and your taxes are going to one side. That's
okay. She doesn't get it, does she? It's all right. So just relax. It's okay. It's okay. Right? It's okay. My weapons and my tax money go to a lot of things that I don't want to go to. Right? We are well aware of it. It's not just limited to that particular conflict. It's very broad scoped, and a lot of us aren't happy about it. But again, right? It's not my main priority. I understand that it's your main priority and that you have, a very strong opinion on it, but you can't force me to adopt your view on it. That is the true apathetic.
But I can respect you less for that because you may say it's not a priority, but it is a concern. Okay, I do. And is it a concern for you at all that your tax money and bombs are going to back to genocide on one side, or are you just like really don't care? Sounds like you said it wasn't a priority.
Did I not say that I don't like my money going to any of it? Right? I said there's a lot of our money goes to shit that we don't like. I am not a fan that my money is going overseas at all. In any regard, right? We have $40 trillion in debt. Our kids can't afford to buy houses. Our veterans are homeless on the streets, starving, committing crimes to survive, getting raped if they're women, right? So I have a lot of issues right here at home I care about. I realize that this is your fight and you're very passionate about it. But the fact of the matter is I don't like having to have that discussion over here at all. And if we had true representation in this country, we wouldn't have to. There wouldn't be money going over there. I wouldn't have to listen to the constant battle between Israel and Gaza over here on domestic soil. I wouldn't have to listen to the push and pull of the Zionists or Jews and the Muslims in my country, the United States. And it's really, really exhausting, right? It's a constant fatigue. So, I realize that it is your issue. It's a horrible issue. Like, I am not a fan of kids being killed anywhere. But I am not in a position to stop it, right? None of us are. So, otherwise it would have stopped. You've been going on at, 3 years now? 3 years now. Day in and day out. Endless spaces, protests, discussions, and nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed. I need to focus on, and we need to focus on problems that we can solve right here at home. If we route the corruption here at home, guess what? The money will stop flowing to where you want it to go. But I'm not going to, it's just, I'm sorry, but it's a fact. So, I know it sounds heartless or whatever. I really just don't have a whole lot of dog in that fight. I just don't. I never really have. And I think that when you try to guilt Americans into having a strong position on it, I think that you end up losing more than you think. The same way that the other side does, like the way that Jews or Israel tries to guilt Americans into having a strong position on anti-Semitism, that turns me off in much the same way, right? And so, again, it feels like a scolding or I'm trying to think of the right word. It just feels like a scolding parents or and I realize it is atrocious what's happened over there, right? Like I'm not trying to discount the horror of war, right? But there is a lot of that globally. And I don't know, man. It completely derails every conversation every time. Every time we try to talk to anything even adjacent to it, it always goes to the genocide shit.
Do you think it's related to what happened in Bondi?
I have no idea.
Okay. Sure. I mean, can I respond to you at all, or are we done here?
I mean, I want to keep it on topic. Do you want to keep it on topic? Then yeah, go ahead. You want to bring it back to Bondi? Tell me how it's related to Bondi. You know what? If you want to tie it into Bondi, I'll allow it. Go ahead. And then I'm going to go to Dr. Strange.
Well, Israel is tying it into Bondi. Israel is making comments. Israel is interfering in Australian affairs. Their president is making comments about Bondi. What
I started this post with that. I agree.
Sure. Yes. So there is a tie-in, and the hero of the day was Syrian. So it is rather from my region. You could say that this is a result of what's happening in my region. We're all interconnected. We can't separate each other. We can't say we don't care, because eventually what you export will come back, right? You exported a conflict, and there was people there on the day that were shot, some of which were shot, some of which were injured, which were in Israel sitting on tanks promoting bombing of hospitals and genocide. So it is related to what's happening.
To be fair, when I started the space, I said that I didn't think it was right for Israel to be involved with the investigation into it because it would be biased. Like, my listeners know that.
Of course.
So then, it's not like I'm being unfair here. I said I didn't think it was right for them to investigate. You can check.
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. And, like, this is happening to Australia and not America as well. But I will say that just as a general thing, you may feel like you reject
this is being used to run propaganda here in America, though, right?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yes, you're right. And it's going to run propaganda into your taxes, going to the foreign conflict that resulted in the exportation of these problems in the first place.
I think,
right?
I think that's the point. If you want to get my sincere opinion, I've stated this before, right? And I want to put a wrap on the Gaza shit. I actually believe that we are working in partnering with Israel to test out urban warfare development, right? And that, we are, that's what's happening there, right? Is that they are a proxy of our weapons and urban training development. Urban warfare has always been the Achilles heels of the United States, even though we've had technological and kinetic warfare superiority for a long time. That's where we struggled the most. If you need any examples, I would look at Iraq, right? Afghanistan, right? Where they have a hard time dealing with insurgencies because they are not of a particular identifiable group. They're not all soldiers wearing green shirts that you can find. They're citizens that become radicalized due to the nature of war, and then insurgents towards the occupying force. Well, look at that. You have Gaza, a never-ending supply of citizens that become radicalized, turn into insurgents in Hamas, and are a constant battle with those around them. And so what a great testing ground for urban warfare development. And this is proven. You can look at the drone technologies that are shared interchangeably between the United States and the state of Israel back and forth. And as horrible as that is, right? And that is horrible, right? And I blame just as much, that just as much on the rogue element that controls our country right now. And also it looks like Israel. So I think that there's a generalization that's made when you talk about Israel or as a country, the same thing as the United States. There's a lot of imperialist atrocities that can be laid at the feet of the United States that I know the American people did not do, right? And they're not responsible for, only in the sense of the fact that they didn't revolt and put an end to it a long time ago. And that much we are responsible. But we each have to hit our moment. So that's my position on that conflict. Go ahead, Noxie.
I think that we can't ignore the fact too that because of these wars, it has allowed the crisis too of the immigration that we're having here and the refugees that we're taking in because of these wars. And we saw the effects of that with the 2 National Guardsmen that were shot a couple weeks ago. Like, we had, like, there's a ripple effect that these wars are causing that is affecting us as Americans. And so on that aspect of it, I would agree with Syrian that we don't want to be part of these conflicts. We don't want our tax dollars spending it, because then we also pay with the ramifications of taking in more refugees and more people that are not Americans and bringing them onto our soil.
100%. So yeah, I know, like, I know that I came across callous. It's just because I've like tried to like mitigate the conversation getting derailed for years now. So I know I come across callous, but I assure you that I do have compassion for kids that are getting slaughtered. Right? I've just tried to be as objective as I can about it. Let's go to the beer paladin. Go ahead.
Can I have a minute?
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry. Yeah, you can go. Yep. Let me just say this. When people talk, the stage rotates, and sometimes one hides behind the mute button or request button, and I don't always keep seeing it. So I'm not ignoring you.
No, it's cool. So, number one, not my area of expertise. With that said, my heart goes out to these people. This is a horrible act for whatever the reason. I understand that there's no proof of an ideological bent here, but I think it's reasonable to assume that there might be. And, someone has said anti-Semitism is a light sleeper. And this concerns me a great deal. Not to say that Israel is perfect by any means. They're not. They've done some horrible things in Gaza. But I think that the most important thing is what you said before, is these arguments of anti-Semitism or Zionism are meant to divide us. And it's the people really who are in power who want that. And that cannot be ignored. I am